Welcome back, everybody. So I told you that probably show how to make a quick and easy Kydex sheath here for this Schrade, and I thought I had the camera rolling when I taped it all off, but I did not. So unfortunately, you guys missed out on that part, but I'll explain it. I mean, it's really easy, especially for this knife in particular, because it's just the same shape all the way throughout, so don't have to worry too much about it. So basically all you've missed here is I've put 2 layers of tape on each side, so that way it gives a little bit of space once the Kydex is complete for this to move in and out without rubbing the Kydex. And I went ahead and used this, which this is just 3 popsicle sticks, and I did that to kind of help close the gap here just a little bit. Otherwise, when the Kydex would press, it would be real deep right there, so when you would pull it through, it would drag down the blade. So that's just gonna alleviate that. There will still be a little bit of a notch there for it to grip onto, which that's okay, I don't mind that. I can manually heat that up and move that. But I think with the way this is shaped, it appears that it is kind of coming out just a little tiny bit here at the front of this handle. So I think we'll be able to get enough retention on this to hold it in. And plus, I mean, this is a wood processing tool, so not a tool you're going to be using out doing cartwheels and such. So I think it'll be all right. We'll see. And obviously we've got our piece of Kydex here, which I'm just gonna go with some OD green for this one. Probably looks really dark in the thing there, but let's see. I want you to see something here if I can. I know it's upside, or not upside down, but crooked, but maybe. Yeah, I think you can read that. Made in the USA. I only use US parts in all of my Kydex. So let me grab a couple of tools here and we'll get going on this thing. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit different process than I normally do. I'm going to basically simplify it to where basically anybody could do this with a pretty minimal investment. So let me grab those tools and we'll be right back. Alright, so just grabbed a little razor knife here, and we'll use that to cut it. A ruler, and I grabbed a pencil just in case I would need it. I don't know that I will, but I might make things easier. So to measure out how much Kydex we're gonna need, generally what I do is I'll set it on, which this is the blade side here. So I'll set it on and kind of position it where I'm gonna want it. And I always make sure to leave plenty of extra over here. Number 1, obviously for your eyelets, but number 2, just so you can trim back to where you need to go. So I don't usually leave a lot, but enough. So I think that'd be good right there. And then what I do is I just kind of flip this thing over. I'm sure you guys have seen videos before on how to make Kydex, and then you'll just want to do the same thing, leaving your gap in there. So you've got room for your eyelets and such. Which, I mean, that looks about good right there. Okay. So I'll move that for now. Then what I'm going to do is measure this so I get a good square cut, and that's right at 7.5 inches. So we'll mark this one here at 7.5 inches also. Okie dokie, got that. Now, where's my mark? There it is. Okay, put that on that mark. Put that one on that mark, which it doesn't really matter if it's perfectly straight, because I mean in the end you'll end up sanding and doing all kinds of stuff. So usually I use a bandsaw to cut this, but I'll do it this way for you guys today, because you can do it this way. Just on your first pass, just nice light pressure. And then on each subsequent pass, just a little more pressure. And eventually you'll get this thing to where you can just snap it right off. Now of course when you're doing this, don't push so hard you jump out and cut your finger off, you know. Nice and easy and slow. Not a race, you know. And that should be pretty good and scored there. There we go. And just like that, no saw required. And then of course always keep your scraps, because you know you use those for other things such as belt loops, fire steel loops, etc., etc. So now just to double check to make sure we've got plenty of room. I think it was sitting about like that. Flip it over. Oh yeah. Probably cut off more than we needed to on that sheet, but that's okay. No sweat. We'll have plenty to work with there, so that'll be good. So now that we've got that done and we've got our blade prepped here, the next thing we're going to want to do is heat our Kydex. Now that can be done, you know, using a heat gun, but on a larger one like this, it's kind of difficult to heat it evenly enough to be able to use it, you know, properly. So I would recommend using an oven, you know, a toaster oven, your regular home oven, or you know, even a griddle, hot plate, or basically just anything that you can heat this Kydex up. Because I mean, you've got to get it, you know, up over 300 degrees to be able to get it to mold properly. And everybody, you know, kind of has their own sweet spot on temperature, so I won't say an exact temperature, but over 300. So I will go ahead and get that oven started up, and then we'll talk about the next thing while that Kydex is heating up. So the next thing you're going to have is some type of press. Now, this one I just put together real quick. You know, well, didn't really put it together, just kind of cut it out real quick. But it works, it's effective. You know, but you got to have some type of press to be able to press, you know, the Kydex into taking shape, obviously, or else it's not going to work. So in this case, simply enough, I just threw some little legs on a board, and then you can see that it's got, you know, layers of foam in there. Well, this is actual Kydex foam, okay? And this is just those like little floor mats, you know, you can get anywhere. These here in particular came from Harbor Freight. But so anyway, this is actual Kydex foam, but you don't necessarily have to use Kydex foam. You can use basically any kind of foam you want to use. Well, a couple of days ago I was in Walmart, and I saw these, which these, and they have a couple different ones. I think these are the Ozark Trail brand, but these are seats, you know, that you get in the sporting goods department. And they actually work, and as you can see, I tested it out. And if you can tell by what impression that is on what I made, you'll get extra bonus points. Now, I don't know what those bonus points would be good for, but bragging rights, I guess. So, well, that one's not imprinted near as much. So, anyway, you can use this foam, which that's what we're going to use today because, like I said, this is cheap and easily available. You know, whereas that Kydex foam, it's more expensive, you know. I mean, that particular foam there was, I don't know, I feel like it was about $15 or so per piece, you know, so $30 there at least, you know, plus probably shipping and all that jazz. So how this will work is, of course, once we pull the hot Kydex out, I'll lay it, you know, lay it in here, then I'll fold it over the knife, and I'll hold it and make sure my knife is positioned all the way back to the crease, or to the fold of the Kydex, and then I'll put my top on, and then I'll just use, you know, some of these squeeze quick clamps to clamp it down and add pressure. Something else I kind of like to do is I'll take the heat gun and I'll just kind of heat the foam up a little, not super hot, but just to heat it up a little, and the knife as well, just so that way, you know, you're not putting hot Kydex on cold foam and a cold knife and everything else. That way it'll get a better press that way. So that's about it for this portion. Now we're just waiting on the Kydex to get warmed up here. So here it is heating up, and I use one of the IR type thermometers, but not warm enough yet. And here we're gonna check it again, because you want to constantly monitor this stuff. It doesn't take long, you know, to heat up, and it doesn't take long to cool down. Usually what I do is I check the temperature in different sections of it, and then I'll also flip it around. And the foil isn't 100% necessary. I just like to do it just in case I ever heat it too much. But you can see it's starting to get flexible, and we're only at 216, so a little further to go. So since our Kydex is getting pretty close to being heated up, let's go ahead and heat up our implements here and everything we're going to be using. Set those on top of each other there. Alright, there's our Kydex, which you can see is nice and floppy. Put it in there like that. Set it in where I want it to be. Move the thing a little bit more to the center here. Kind of line it up where it's even. Push the blade all the way to the back. Smash it down a little bit there. That thing's hot. Okay. Whoops, should have had my clamps a little better here. I had them way open from the last project. That's okay though. That's been about our 15 or 20 minutes there. So now we'll go ahead and release our clamps here. Out though. So what I'm gonna do right now is I am laying it out, just trying to get an idea of where I need my line to be. Let me turn this around so I can see just a little bit better here. Okay, so yeah, you guys can see that pretty well. So I think I'd probably put my first eyelet probably about right there, like that, I'd say. And this is kind of what I do. I just kind of lay them out where I think I would want them to be. You know, about something like that. And then I just kind of make a mark. So that looks pretty good there. So I mark them like that. And pull those things off of there. And I get me a straight edge.
Kind of run a line down it like that. And then I make sure, you know, that I'm pretty well the same distance from my edge. And in this case, it's pretty much exactly the same. So that's good, good, good. Same down here. Kind of go something like that. Same maneuver. Kind of go across there like that. And then on this one, I'll probably just kind of bob off the corner of it a little bit there. I'll probably leave it kind of squared since, you know, we were dealing with a squared knife. That's probably what I'll do. And then, of course, when we get up into this area, it will probably come down.
Let's see here. Probably kind of come across like that. And we'll see about this. I don't know. We may have to kind of bob some of that off too, but take it across like that. Basically kind of do a number like that, which that may change as we go. You know, we'll see. And then, of course, kind of round that corner off a little bit. And then up here, we'll flare this out, you know, for a thumb push. So next thing is we need to lay out all of our holes. And I've got a guide that I use to drill them with, and that has all the sizing of holes you would need for different mounting attachments and whatnot. So be right back with you and we'll get that done. And there we've got the guide on there, which we can drill our holes.
Well, I guess it would help if I plugged it in first, but imagine that. Alright. Here's the nice part about this drill guide. Once it's on there and set, you can just go through, pop your holes, quick and easy. They don't get out of line, they don't get crooked. And I probably didn't really need all that many holes, but
Alright, so there's what we ended up with. And our holes down the side turned out great, but I should not have drilled this bottom one right there. because now it messed up my spacing here what I needed, but that's okay. This is not supposed to be anything special, just a sheath to put this thing in, so no big deal there. So alright, now we've pulled out our arbor press here. You can see that I've installed all the eyelets. I decided to go ahead and use desert tan just to give it a different look. Why not? Now, like I said, I'm going to use this hole get up here to do these, but you could very easily use the handset here, you know, which you would set that down there, put your eyelet on it like that, and then this piece here would go on top, and then you'd hammer it and that would roll it. But when you do them like that, as long as your set here is, you know, new or in really good shape, they do real well. But after you've used that for a while, you know, it beats the metal down on it and they start getting kind of scarred up and just looking bad. So I got me one of these, which, you know, is an eyelet flaring die made to be used with this. Now this whole thing is brand new for this operation. I just got this thing not very long ago. So this is the maiden voyage of this thing right here. So I don't know how well it'll do. We're about to find out though. I am unsure. Let's see. Gotta get that baby up in there, raise that up a little bit. Okay, I have to adjust my handle probably. I don't know, maybe I can get it without adjusting it. I don't like that. No, I'm gonna have to adjust my handle here. Well, folks, be back with you when I get this thing adjusted properly. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and cut this thing out here on the bandsaw.
Those eyelets don't look too bad if you don't look too close. Now, the first couple I did were pretty bad, but they actually got better. You know, after doing a few, I just kind of had to figure out how it works, so kind of a learning curve, but that's okay. If I want to, I can take out, you know, those 2 or 3 that are not real good and replace them, but it very well might be these eyelets, too, because this desert tan color of eyelets, I've had nothing but trouble with those in particular. Now, the regular black ones, like I have always used before, I've never had any trouble with those, so I'm not going to rule out that it might be the eyelets, too, you know, so, oh well. At any rate, it's just to kind of show you guys how it's done anyway, so, anyhow, we've still got our lines marked out, so let's cut this out, and hopefully this isn't too loud for you guys.
Alright, now we're over here to the sander, and I use a few different kinds of sanders. You know, I'll use sometimes this larger belt sander, or sometimes, you know, I've got one of the little Harbor Freight 1x30s that I'll use sometimes. Just depends. I mean, this has a disc sander on it, and sometimes I use a Dremel, and it all just really depends. Like when I go to get inside here, this radius, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I'll be able to do it up there, I think. But sometimes on other projects, you know, like holsters or smaller sheaths, when you need to get in there for your finger groove, you can't always get in there with this larger radius. So sometimes I have to use those other machines. It just depends. But I'll show you something kind of neat here that we'll probably have a little bit of a video on. So that's a little something I'm working on right now. Can you see that in there? Yeah, that big old giant thing. That's what I'm working on right now. It's far from done, but it's a work in progress, and that is 5160 spring steel, 12-inch blade, 18-inch overall. It's gonna be one serious chopper. But anyway, that's not what we're working on right now. But you know, just a little teaser, I guess. So I'm gonna fire this thing up, so let's hope it's not too loud for you guys. Let me get my safety glasses back on. Yeah, you guys need to always make sure you're wearing proper safety equipment if you know, you're using equipment. I'm sure most of you probably already know that, but some may not. And I'd sure hate to not say it and somebody not know it, you know. But surely all of you that watch my channel are plenty smart for that. So here we go. Hopefully this ain't too loud. And you get to see that my workstation here is a bit of a mess, but that's okay. It's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So here we've got this. Gonna go ahead and just take some sandpaper here. Now this is 150 grit. So, and I probably won't use this for a long time, but alright. Now we got our piece of 400 here. Here we are, 600. And this will be the last hand sanding step. Alright, let me show you where it's at right now. So you can kind of see there that, oh, come on, let's get a focus here. There we go. You can see it's melted together pretty nicely already. But give it a little hand sand and now it's looking even better. So blow this thing out with air real quick here to get all the gunk that might be in it out, which incidentally when you fold this you can end up with a little drain hole there if you're lucky. Kind of see it there you go. So alright, I'll blow this thing out and then we'll get back, we'll polish it up, and then we'll finish it off. Alright, so here's what it looks like just after hand sanding. Let me see if I can't get it to focus there. Okay. Well, kinda. So, you know, not too bad, but we're going to go ahead and use this buffer here to really get those edges slicked up. And usually I don't do like the fitment, you know, like with the heat gun adjustments and all that jazz until the very end. I do it however you want. That's just how I happen to do it. So here we go. And obviously make sure you're wearing your safety glasses for this, because this thing can be dangerous. Maybe you'll see, maybe you won't, just depends. Alright, well, that's polished enough for me. If I was making it for somebody, I'd make sure it was perfect, but it's not too bad. You kind of see there that you know, I mean, it's still got a little bit of fuzz on it and whatnot, but not too shabby. So next we will go ahead and fit it and adjust it with the heat gun if need be. All right, so we're back, and of course the only thing I did that you missed was I removed the tape, and then I use a little bit of WD-40 in a rag, and I go ahead and give it a good wipe down just to make sure there's no adhesive from the tape still left. Usually that painter's tape comes off nice and clean, but like in this case where I had to heat it twice, there was a spot or two here and there, and it was the cheap tape I had gotten originally, and I just haven't used it all yet. So next time I'm going to get better stuff, but either way about it. So I did not test fit it though at all, so you guys will get to see that same time I do. So let's see what we've got here. See what kind of fit we have. See that? Nice and smooth, no blade drag. That's what you want. And just like I thought, it grabs right around that. See, the blade will just slip right through here because those popsicle sticks that I put in there left the room right here for that to come right out. See, so that won't be scratching the blade up, which was the intention, obviously. Now, since this is all just going to be straight, you know, through here with like no contouring hardly, there's a little bit, but not much. So you're not going to get a click out of something like this. I mean, it's just, you know, you can tell when it seats in there. Now, let's see. And I mean, it's in there pretty good. I mean, I'm shaking it. You know, I mean, it definitely could come out, but probably not going to. So, I do want to put just a bit of a thumb ramp on it. Nothing major, but a little bit of one there. To do that, I've made a tool here, popsicle stick, and I've sanded it. So it's, you know, kind of slanted, and I can just, well, you'll see, but, you know, I'll heat this up a little bit, then I'll take this popsicle stick and go right underneath it, just like that, right there, and then raise it right up. You'll see it happen. Now, when I'm doing adjustments on these, what I'll usually do is turn my heat gun on to high, let it heat up for a minute, and then I'll flip it over to low. That way it doesn't heat too quickly. Try to make it where you guys can see this thing here without melting myself. And it'll go pretty quick. It actually it's interesting because you don't have to have it heated a ton to get it to move. Not easy to do on camera here, and trying not to burn my arm here with this heat gun, because it is hot. That is why they call it a heat gun after all. Now that's gotta be good enough. Yeah, it could use a little more though, but let's give it a little more. And when you're doing this part here, you've got to be careful too, because you'll ruin the retention altogether if you're not careful. So, I mean, it does take some practice, but I think we'll make it. Oh no, my stick broke. It's okay, I just want a little bit of a thumb ramp here. I've used that stick a lot. Just kind of get it out there where you want it, let it cool off. Looky there, snap the stick. That's alright. Still comes out nice and easy though. A little bit of a click in there, so not too shabby for, you know, just throwing it together real quick like. And you know, like I said, there's a lot here that definitely isn't professional, obviously, but like I said, I was just throwing it together real quick to kind of show you guys how it, you know, could be done. Definitely not the best job ever, but And you're probably wondering why I haven't made a belt clip yet or put one on it. Well, this is standard spacing here, 3/4 inch, so that'll fit, you know, tech locks or molly locks or any of that kind of stuff like that. In fact, here's a long molly lock here. You can see the holes in it line up perfectly with that, you know, so I could install that baby on there like that. You know, drop it down a little bit even right there. Use that as a belt loop, you know, if I wanted, or pack mount it, or, you know, like I said, I could put tech locks on it, or I could make a dangler, or, you know, there's a ton of different things I could do, but I'm not going to do any of that because I'm probably not really going to be carrying this per se, you know, really. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little shackle on right here on the end. If you guys can see that, I think you can, yep. So we've got that. Oop, kind of drifting a little off camera there. So we'll put this shackle on. Okay, got that. Now, on the front side, I'm just going to try something. I don't know how well this will work out, but I'm just going to try it for fun, and we'll just see. Experiment. Oops, these gloves here are killing me. I had them on for the heat there. May have to take them off for this. Jeez. Oh, there we got it. So I put that little shackle on the back. And now I got this little metal cable I'm going to put on the front there. I've got this old strap here. I don't even know where it came from, but clip that on the back. Let's see if you guys, yeah, you can see that just fine. So clip that one on the back. Clip that one on the front. And then it can be carried as a baldric kind of rig there. Alright. And there we are. And that's the baldric carry. Nice, easy, smooth draw. Pull it out. Do whatever you need to do. Put her back in. Lock it in one-handed. Not gonna fall out on you. Good to go. Especially for a tool like this, because I mean, you're using this to split wood. That's it. You know, you don't probably want this hanging from your belt, or at least while you're trying to split wood, you don't want the sheath hanging from your belt, or at least, I mean, I wouldn't. Especially because you probably have another knife on and who knows what else. So, to me, this is the best way to carry this tool, because when you get, you know, to where you're going to be splitting your wood or whatever, you can take it off and then you'll have it just like that, you know, ready to go. No straps to cut, you know, no nylon to deal with. Great little item. So, I mean, it's not too bad, you know, it's definitely far from perfect, but I mean, it was just a quick look and kind of a quick build, you know, too. So, but just something to kind of show you guys how it's done, because like I said, I'd had a couple of different people ask me about it, so no big deal. No big deal. So anyways, glad y'all spent some time and checked it out, and hope you guys enjoyed everything. And if you got any ideas on what you'd like to see next, you can sure let me know in the comments below. Been watching Alpha Omega Survival Supply, and we'll see you in the next one.